What's up, everybody? Okay, it's been a couple of days, been like 5 days. When was my last stream? 5 days ago. It's been a few days. We're gonna kick off where we left. So, if anyone is new to the live stream, we are building a price tracker app. It is going to be a mobile app, so it's going to be like Keeper. Okay, let's go to the iOS app. So we're going to be building this kind of app. So basically something similar to this. We're gonna get our data scraped from Amazon directly using the service called Bright Data. They already do it for us, so we don't have to do all the hard work. We are watching the tutorial from Not Just Dev. So I'm going to be making the whole app following his tutorial,
which is going to be a spinner.
So be sure to subscribe to him. He's pretty cool. He got a lot of videos. So very simple. Just gonna get right into it. The tech stack is Superbase, React Native, Expo, and yeah. So I'm gonna be learning. This is just me learning to make this app. It's gonna hopefully be a case study if I can make money with this app or not. So we currently, the last stream we left off where we were building the local database, so we're gonna be continuing that. I think he's doing 1-2 other things here, but let's just see. So let's just launch the app in Expo. I got it running here in the terminal. I don't have any work experience, by the way, so it is just me trying out stuff, learning on as I go. So let's continue with the tutorial. Oh, quickly, be sure to follow my Twitter. I'm going to be, this is behind the scenes right now. Yeah. I need to sneeze. Okay, so let's follow the tutorial. I am 2 hours in the tutorial in only part 1, so I'm gonna try to speed through this. It is currently 3:30 a.m. I'm gonna stream for like an hour. Hopefully gonna get half an hour into the tutorial. Gonna speed run this.
Style it a little bit, for example, margin 2.
Okay, so he is currently editing. As such, I left off. I made a couple of edits. I don't think I should have made these edits. I changed a few things. Let me just see what I did. I'm gonna try to take everything back here. Just discard this. Let me see. Discard this. Discard. Oh, that's a tricky one. I have to delete this whole file. Let me just copy everything. I'm gonna restore file. Okay. Hopefully everything is working. I don't think I need that anymore. Okay, so everything seems to be working back to normal. Okay, let's follow the tutorial. Let's see where he is. He's in search. So he's editing. So when I go on the app and I search, for example, laptop, he's editing this page here. So what he's doing is currently making this. I think I did this already, so I'm just gonna skip forward. Yes, I remember doing that.
Functionality of digest with relative time, and now
I think I watched all of this already.
what we can do is when querying from Supabase, after vehicle we can say order based on created at, and here we can say ascending false to order from the most recent, which is 8 minutes ago, to that one.
Okay, let me just see where I left off. I'm gonna go to the last stream and I'm going to see where exactly the stream ended. So let's see. Okay. Super base status. Stop. I'm trying to see when I clicked like on that. Like, okay, yeah, I press play, yeah, so yeah. Oh shit. I can't see what that was. Okay. Forget about that. Let's just go back. Okay. I hope the stream's sounding okay. I'm just gonna listen to myself again. Okay. I hope the stream's sounding okay. I'm just gonna listen to myself again. Okay. So I hope the stream's sounding okay. I'm just gonna listen to myself. Okay, so that's not okay. Stream sounding okay. I'm just gonna listen. Okay, let's put this away. Forget about this. Forget about that. Oh shit! I actually needed that. I think that was this tab here. Okay, gonna leave that there. Let's go to our tutorial. Let's continue.
I write new one. Search. I go back and I need to reload the application to a separate function called const fetch
I think we got
history.
Watching. What's up?
And call the fetch history in the use effect, and also call fetch history.
Do this. This is what I didn't do. Did I do fetch? Okay, so set history, fetch. Okay, so let's see what he's doing at the moment.
I go back and I need to reload the application to a separate function called const fetch history.
Okay.
And call the fetch history in the use effect, and also call fetch history in the flat list in the on refresh fetch history. And for refreshing, we can say false.
Okay.
So now if I'm gonna write something here and I go there, and if I come back, I can scroll down to fetch the new data.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that's
and I
what
go
fetch
refresh
is doing. Okay, so let's just add that in quickly. So that's something I need to learn. Const fetch history. I think I would call it fetch searches. Okay, I think that's fair. Okay, no, we don't need that. We are actually just getting the history. So, fetch history. Oh, I did do fetch history. Okay, so I don't need to do that anymore. Why did I put it down there though? Fetch history.
And call the fetch history in the use effect, and also call fetch history in the flat list in the on refresh fetch history. And for refreshing,
Okay, I want to call it. Okay, I want to call it fetch searches because. Okay, no, it's fine. History, set history, fetch history. Okay, it's fine.
we can say false. So now if I'm gonna write something here and I go there, and if I come back, I can scroll down to fetch the new data, to update it. So that's going to bring the new fetch result here.
Let's quickly understand how it works. Okay, so fetch history is from Superbase. It goes to the database, selects everything where the user ID equals to the user ID from auth that we get here. Ordered by, created at, ascending, false. Then it takes that data, destructures it. It equals to data. This is destructured. I'm not too sure. I forgot how this works. Let's just put control chat. Explain this to me. So I'm speaking to cursor right now. Okay, so then this is handling the response from Superbase. It uses an object destructuring to extract the data from the response, the data property from the response. Okay, so it's taking data out of the response. So there is a response with data in it, and it is setting data equal to something. What is this shit now? Okay, so this is handling. Okay, set history. See, I don't want to get caught up in this. I want to make the app quickly. So let's just continue. So wait, I want to quickly understand this. So if the data is there or empty array, so set history will either be data or an empty array. Pretty simple. So if data is there, it'll be there. Now what is the data? So we're basically targeting I don't know. I'm a bit confused, but so use effect. Okay, so every time this is loaded, it was gonna fetch the history. Okay.
Perfect.
Now
Here
on refresh, it's also gonna run fetch history. Okay. So this here runs it. Okay, so flatlist can be dragged down and refresh, and it can perform a function. Okay. Data starts off with history. History is what? Is empty array. Okay.
Here we have it, and this is our search database. Let me double check if we have any problems. I think I need to remove some console logs. Data. I have this, and you will
I just need to do one thing quickly. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. I was just doing a thing.
Also might have like these red warnings. This is because I'm a bit sloppy on the types, like I didn't type everything properly. If we have time, I'm gonna show you how we can type everything so we have even IntelliSense and we do not have like these red warnings. But for now, I think we are good, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do git add, git commit,
Okay, I remember doing that.
searches database.
So yeah, we on par
Alright.
with him.
So how are you doing, guys?
Okay.
Good. Yes. I find some difficulties when
Okay, so we're creating
well,
an edge
then go ahead and
function.
learn read more about SQL, try things with SQL. Then you're gonna
I did all of this. I really messed up. I don't know where I stopped.
learn about something else. So
I didn't make my stream diary. You see, I was making. I stopped on 5. Shit. I don't know. Maybe we have to just see what we're doing.
by doing, you're gonna naturally.
Okay, so we were doing all of this.
With risk. I really hope unknown command request, and it took 12 request. Yes, it checking the. Let me double check. Update. So authorization.
We stopped somewhere, yeah, and this wasn't
is
working.
going to be this API token from Bright Data.
So
I'm using hard-coded. Later, we're gonna put it in environment variables. I'm just trying to see something happening.
Okay.
Post request. So then do const result is going to be equal to fetch, and then what I can do is result JSON is equal to await
just
result.json,
Superbase,
and let's do a console log result JSON. Let's go ahead and simply invoke this function again. We have it running somewhere. We have it running in this terminal. If we don't, we simply have to do npx superbase functions serve. And in another terminal, I'm going to invoke it using this curl command that we see here.
Okay, so we stopped around, yeah, and this wasn't working. Okay. So what are we telling it? We are telling it to, this is a Superbase edge function. So I'm just memorizing and learning for myself. So quickly, it is going to use Dino. This is a Node.js alternative. If I am not mistaken, it is based, Superbase is based on this partly, I think. So it is using Dino serve blah 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 as to make its edge function. So this is the edge function locally. It is awaiting, it's gonna await the response from this particular URL API. It is making a post request to it and is waiting the response. So it is taking the authorization, is taking the token, blah blah blah, and it is waiting. No, it's not. Its keyword is Xbox. So this is like PlayStation. So basically Xbox. I'll put it as Xbox. It's gonna take this payload, basically pages search one. Okay, its response. It's gonna wait the response. Put it as JSON. Console log it. Const data. This I don't need to worry about. Okay, so why isn't this working now? So let's see. Let's put it here. I think I need to put npx superbase start because we need to run this. Okay, it is to install something. Okay, so Docker is not running. Okay, let's run Docker. Good. Let's put Docker here actually. Let me just inject that. How do I make this side smaller? Okay, there we go. Thank you, Darren. Okay. Okay, we're gonna put this. We're gonna hopefully run this. I believe you just click run and it should run. I don't know exactly. I'm trying to speed up through the stream if anybody's wondering or watching. Oh yeah, I forgot to wear my kinda engagement ring. Not really engagement. Okay, let's speed through it. Okay, so is this container starting? It's taking a lot of CPU usage. I'm assuming it's starting. It is almost running, it seems. Okay, so it's fully running. Okay, so let's go back to it. Let's put npx superbase start. So basically, if I'm not mistaken, what npx does is it doesn't need me to install it to run superbase start in the CLI, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so so I think Superbase is already running with the Docker. Okay, so it is. Everything seems to be working here. Now what I need to do is copy this and paste it. And oh. There should be somewhere that I get the log, the console log. Okay, let's see what this guy does.
We are going to send a GET request towards our function. And if I do that, we see still hello functions.
Okay, so we got that.
But if I go back into where our project is running,
I didn't get that. Oh, forgot to run that. So npx functions so basically this is starting up the edge function, so it's listening to responses, if I'm not mistaken. So let's run that, and boom, we get it. Okay, so we're on par, we're working.
we see the snapshot ID.
Okay.
Basically, we see the response.
So basically, our edge function, we tell it, get us 10 results with the search term Xbox, because the user searched Xbox. We're going to Amazon.com, pages search 1. This goes to Bright Data. Bright Data gives us back this from the edge function. We're gonna take this and contact Bright Data using another edge function, and Bright Data is gonna give us the actual data back. Okay, so very simple.
From Bright Data that, hey, I got your request, I started the job, here is the ID, ask me later what's the status or what's the data.
Okay, so everything makes sense so far.
So that means that from an edge function, we successfully triggered a job on Bright Data to start fetching. Now our goal is to improve a little bit here. At least I would like to extract the key from the source code to an environment variable. So in Superbase, we can go Superbase edge function secrets, and we can manage environments. We can get it through the dino.env. We can put env, for example, local file under Superbase directory. For example, under Superbase, we can create here a new file called .env. Maybe .local, I'm going to leave it env. And here, let's do Bright Data API key. and the API key for bright data is going to be this one. Now I'm going to replace.
Okay, so bright data API key. I'm just gonna change the key so nobody on stream thinks of taking it and using my free trial credits. Goodbye. Be right back. Okay, so we're back. Gonna continue. I finished or changed the API key. Let's actually just test whether the API key works, the new one. So I'm just gonna put the same thing back. Oh, I put it in wrong. Shouldn't return anything. Okay, good. Putting it in again. Bad request. Putting it one more time. Internal server error. Okay. Okay, yeah, that's because there's no API key here. Okay, so let's just, maybe this works. I don't know. I just took that from cursor. Okay, let's just follow what this guy does.
Now I'm going to replace this with a template string, and I'm going to access it as a variable as dino.env.get and the name that we specified here in the env by data API key. So now this is going to come from environments. I need to make sure that this .env file is not going to be committed to Git by checking Git status. cd supabase git status.
Okay, I'm gonna actually put pause again. Be right back. Mm. I don't know if my computer is running a bit slow. I'm just gonna put activity monitor and see if anything's taking extra usage. No, seems pretty normal. Expo Go, okay, OBS. Okay, seems pretty normal.
Status.
It's not actually working now. Because I got 2 ENVs, I don't know. He also should have 2 ENVs.
And we see that it's not going to be added. That's good.
Okay, let's see if
And
he tries it.
now, whenever I start the function, I need to go ahead and specify that, hey, when you serve this function, take the environment file
Okay.
from superbase.env. Basically specify
Okay.
the URL to the environment file that should be used when running them locally. Now it's running, we can go ahead and invoke it again.
Okay, so
Now
I'm gonna
it's
need to remember this. Where do I put this? env file superbase/.env. How do I remember this? Don't know how that got broken up, okay. Okay, so it's starting the edge functions and it's taking the data from the env should it require the env. So I'm gonna put it under here. I'm going to so I'm just gonna put it under my knowledge. This is my knowledge base. So gonna name this super base. Let's just put a green icon. We're gonna create a page. This page is gonna be rated on an importance level. For me, this is how I work with my knowledge base. So I give it an importance level. So if you can see the for Nest.js that I was trying to learn, modules, the section modules is important. It's 4 out of 4. I gave it out of 4 because I don't want too many possibilities. So what are we putting into Superbase? So we're gonna call this run edge functions locally. Run edge functions with env local superbase. I'll give this a 1 out of 4. I won't even lie, this is not that important. I'm probably not gonna do this often, so I'm just gonna call this code. So normally code normally npx superbase function starts the edge functions runtime, so to speak, but the inclusion of will let you get access to env variables in that particular super base folder that can be used in the edge functions, etc. I don't know, I just doesn't matter. Speed up.
File that should be used when running them locally. Now it's running, we can go ahead and invoke it again by sending this request. And we have a snapshot ID, which means that we no longer have an environment key in code, we are using it from the environment variables. And lastly,
okay, so it is working.
While we're speaking about the environment variables, for production secrets, we can go ahead and say, hey, Superbase, set secrets in your cloud environment, the production environment, based on the file that we provided here. Another way you can do is you can run Superbase secret set and then name and file. So I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna right away upload Superbase secrets by doing npx Superbase secrets set based on the environment file dot Superbase.env, the env file that we created for Superbase. Now it was set, you can double check that through that somewhere here, I don't remember exactly where, but you should have the secrets
putting the
in your
env up.
Superbase on superbase.com.
No.
Yeah, I'll not find them right now, but it should be under project settings.
Okay, let's just change this to managing environment variables. In edge functions, local Superbase. Now you can upload the env. Okay, I won't call that. Where is this again? I'll give it a 1. I won't even lie. I don't know. Let's give this another one. Let's call this 1 out of 4. Upload local environment variables to Superbase online. Code, so be sure to put the local.env file as per etc. Okay. Okay, let's continue. I trust that the thing is uploaded. Okay.
Okay. What else? What else do we need to improve on this function? Let's look through the API. We trigger dataset ID. This is specific for the dataset that we're working for. Limit results, it's okay. Method post, this one okay. The keyword should be dynamic, right? Because we need to specify the keyword that we want to search for. And the keyword, I'm going to extract it into a function called start scraping. This function is going to have keyword, and what it's going to do, it's going to do this fetch and then take the JSON and return the response.json, and then do this fetch and then take the JSON and return the response.json.
Okay, so let's just do what he's doing. So gonna put it in there. I'm actually just gonna improve it a little bit because it's important to have this built in now. So if I want to change the URL to another URL, makes it dynamic. Okay.
This function should be async. So now it's going to be easier because we are going to take this keyword, we're going to put it here, and we can call new scrape job is equal to await start scraping, and here we can say, I don't know, iPhone. And we can console log the new scrape.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it as an O. Okay, and here O. So if I don't fill it out, I'm actually just gonna put it like that. So here I'm gonna write your iPhone. Okay, so okay.
And if I'm going to invoke it again, here, start scrape. And if I check here, we see...
Okay, so let's just do that. Let's check this out. Going to do this. Gonna put it here. Gonna wait. I don't know exactly where we wait. I think we get it from here. This is not defined. What did I do now? Let's try this one more time. Put it in there. Other form function. Rest is not defined. Restaurant is so. Okay. That's not JSON. Wait. Okay. Console log new scrape. Yeah, that should work. Okay, so I'm gonna get the snapshot ID. Didn't work. Okay. So new scrape, await new start scraping. Okay, it searches with iPhone, so the keyword is iPhone. So how does it know the order? Okay, let's see now. Make function params optional. Okay, wait, what is it called? Function params or I basically want to make it an optional where only keyword is required. Is it even called params? Okay, wait, I should just ask cursor. What am I doing? So make keyword compulsory and the others optional. Okay, so let's see what cursor says. I'll close this because this is embarrassing. Cursor is so much better. Okay, so it is a question mark. I was thinking there. Okay, so let's just run this again. I think I did something. Okay. It's not. Okay, let's just follow this guy.
Snapshot ID. Yeah.
Okay, no, his one is returning. So why did his work?
Okay. Wait. Start scraping and job is equal to.
Oh, he did return. Yeah, why did I take that out? Yeah, because I wasn't returning anything. That's why. So I'll get this. Take that. Go to bright data. I don't know what that is. Just ignore that. Amazon product search by URL. I think it is product search collect by URL. Discover products by keywords. I think it's this one. Okay, so let's go to the. Yeah, I'll put it here. Okay, so now I'm just gonna check what it returns. Oh, okay. Okay, so I need to put the token that I got in. Don't really want to do that, but
Wait. Start scraping, and here we can say, I don't know, iPhone.
Okay, let's just go.
Looking at the request URL. Here.
Okay, so where did he go?
And you can double check that on the API logs here by looking at this snapshot ID.
Okay.
Logs. It worked.
I want the screen to go.
And you can double check that on the API logs here by looking at this snapshot ID.
API logs. Okay. Oh, I think I could find it. Oh, it is this one. Okay. So. Okay, let's just follow what this guy does again.
And you're gonna see what was the request URL. So it's dataset, so 1. and it's actually already ready. But still, we are sending this iPhone here manually. What we want to do is, for every new search item in our table, we want to say, hey, start running a scraping job for this item. And based on this item, you're going to have a query here. So that means that we're going to have to send through the request the record, the search record that we're going to work with. So this is going to be a search record, basically one line from here, and the line will have that query. So I can start the scraping for record dot, let's say record dot query. So record dot query. What?
Okay, so what is he saying exactly? So await a request. I don't know what he's saying.
So I line from here. We're gonna have to send through the request the record, the search record that we are going to work with. So this is going to be a search record, basically one line from here, and the line will have that query. So I can start the scraping for record dot, let's say record dot query. So record dot query.
Shouldn't it be searches?
What I should do next is, you see the record table, the searches table, they have here snapshot ID. I would like to go back in the table and update this field with the snapshot ID so that later I can look for the data from Bright Data for this scrape job. So what I have to do is I will look at Supabase edge functions, Supabase GS, invoke, I need edge function database. I'll try to find in the docs where it explains how you can create a client and then interact with the database from your function. So where is the docs for this? Oh, here, examples, use Supabase GS. So we can go ahead and create a client. We're going to import create client at the top of our edge function. Let's import it. And inside our dino.serve.
Okay, it says,
we're gonna
let's go to this page. So Supabase auth context JS. Is it auth? It is auth context edge functions. Okay.
Initialize this Supabase client like this. So here
don't know what this is doing, man.
Inside dino.serve, after the new scrape job, we're gonna initialize a new Supabase client. And having this Supabase client, we can go ahead and do data error. We can say, hey, Supabase, go ahead and access the table called searches, and update the field. How is the field called? Snapshot ID.
So what did I call it? Such as Amazon, I believe. Okay, so let's, I call it such as Amazon. So such as Amazon update
snapshot ID, come on, snapshot underscore ID, using the new scrape dot, I think it's also snapshot ID. New scrape snapshot ID. That's what.
Okay, so snapshot ID, let's see now. Where are we getting it from? We are getting it from here. So that returns a JSON, response JSON. There we go, it's called snapshot ID. So what we're doing is we are awaiting surveys client from search as Amazon. We're updating because every time we hit search here, we don't have a snapshot ID. We don't have its the response from Bright Data related to this particular keyword. So let's see now. Why did we put this? I forgot. I don't understand. Const search await request.json. Explain this to me. Let me explain the line of code and its context. This line is using object destructuring in TypeScript / JavaScript to extract a search property from the JSON body of an incoming HTTP request. Search property from the body of an incoming. However, these unit description in the code because they were the code tries to search as query, which is okay. So what is it? Is it returning back? It's not gonna return back. This guy put record.query. Why did he put record.query? I don't understand. I just don't know, but okay. I'm just following this.
Bright Data gives us back. And usually when I update, I also like to send the, maybe here we can update the status of our search to scraping, because previously it was new, now it's going to be scraping. And also I will update the updated at, if I have such a field. No, I don't, it's just created at, but it's last scraped at. This is going to be updated when we receive a result. So I'll leave it like this. But update these fields to the row that has the ID equal to the record. We have information about the item that we have to update, so record.id. Then I can go ahead and do select to get it back, and then .single to take the item. So now this data, I think I'm gonna remove the other data.
Okay, let's just make sure everything is correct. Await Superbase client. We're going to okay, so it seems to be working. I mean, it seems to be looking all right.
Just to have this data, and I'm gonna return back. Basically, I'm gonna return back the updated search row from the database. The only thing that is gonna change is the request that we're gonna send. because in the data, we're no longer going to have name. We're going to have here record, which is going to be an object with at least ID, and it should have an ID. For example, let's go for a search with query iPhone. So ID 1. ID 1, and the query is going to be equal to iPhone. So make sure you properly type it like this.
Don't know,
query.
honestly.
Is it correct?
Just doing all this.
Yeah, I think it's going to work. And let's try to execute this curl request to send a new request to our edge function. Let's see what's gonna happen now. We see null. Most probably there was an error. So let's go ahead and do a console log error here from the Supabase client and send the request again and go back to the logs. We see error is null. Most probably, like if I look at the logs, I'm gonna see that do we have new API calls? I don't think we do have.
Let's see. Yeah, didn't. Let's see.
So what's happening there? Serving the request with hello from functions. Let me do a console log where.
Okay.
In the new scrape, do a console log new scrape.
I don't know if these are new ones.
I know why it might be a problem. Because we are working with local database, but I expect it to update the remote one. So snapshot ID is there, but when it tries to update, there is no item in our local data.
Okay, let's understand why he put record. I don't understand anything from the Dino. Okay, so Dino, what is Dino doing? Dino is executing this function quite simply. It is simply targeting. It's just a function that's run. That is ran basically. So this function is ran. It takes in a request. Why record? Tired, man.
Database. So what I'm gonna do is now I'm gonna try to deploy this function so that it will work on remote on supabase.com. To deploy a function, all we have to do is call npx.
No, but my thing is not working. I don't know. Oh shit! I don't know what's going on right now. That seemed like it's working. I won't even lie. See, I don't have. Okay, so start scraping. Where the start scraping kick in? So start scraping is only dealt with here. Record.query. Okay, so this is what it's saying. So record, this here is a record. Record. Why can't I just use the word search? I'm just gonna call this search. search.query. Searches. Okay.
Supabase functions deploy, and that will take this local.
Okay, so I need to. So it's called npx supabase functions deploy. I'm gonna actually save this. Okay, I'll just ask it what does that do in 1 to 2 sentences? Go here. Gonna put it here. I'm gonna write here. I can call this local supabase. Migrate edge functions from local supabase to online. Okay. 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 We did that.
Function and deploy it to supabase.com. Now if I go to Supabase dashboard, under edge functions, we're gonna have a new function here. And
okay, so let's go to edge functions. Supabase.com. Okay, interesting. Everything seems to be working. Just leave that.
And by clicking on it, we're gonna see invocations and logs. To trigger it, we're gonna need the endpoint URL. So let's copy this endpoint URL. Let's go back.
So it did work. Okay. So we're gonna take the endpoint URL.
We're gonna need the endpoint URL. So let's copy this
get up
endpoint
with
URL.
this.
Let's go back to our code because we're again going to trigger it manually through a curl request. I'm gonna add here a bit of space. I'm gonna duplicate this curl request, and I'm gonna change only the endpoint URL because everything else, well, actually not everything else. Let me update the invocation URL, this one, to my remote one, and the authorization as well, because the authorization needs the anonymous key from project settings API anon key. I'm gonna copy this one and update it in the second request.
Okay, what is he doing? I don't need to try all this shit.
LIVE008, I don't know how to pronounce it correctly, and just replace the token. And this one is a remote request. Now let's try to copy it and send the request to a remote function. What's going to happen? It's going to invoke a remote function. It's going to give us null, which means that something went wrong. But we can go to our edge functions, to this function, invocation, no results, logs. We have some results, which is good. We have a log snapshot ID. It generated the job correctly. But we have here the results contains 0 rows. JSON object requested multiple or no rows returned. Most probably that's because of Let me check. Maybe because of the rules. So on the table editor, under searches, let's go ahead and check off policy. Enable insert for authenticated, enable read for authenticated, enable update for users based on email, but it's not based on email, hopefully. It's based on user ID. So why?
Good question.
I'm wondering if this should be a string like this. It's also null. So Superbase client from searches, did I call it correctly? Now I'm doubting everything. So the table is searches.
Yeah.
We are updating snapshot ID, where ID is equal to record ID. But it's anonymous. Oh, yeah. Yes. It's about authorization rules. So look what's happening. It's taking the token from the authorization rules that we are sending to the from searches. Did I call it correct?
What is going on?
We need to show this the anon. We basically put and it's taking the token from the authorization rules that we are sending to this request. And when we are invoking this function, we basically put here the anonymous key, the anon key. That's why it's failing. But if a user would invoke this query, it would work. And I will show this by going to our product page, for our search page. And let's invoke it. Let's actually, yes, that's a better way, because I think curl request is a bit confusing. And we are using an anonymous authentication token. We need an actual user authentication token to invoke it. So I'm gonna go, let me leave it open, but I'm gonna go in my application.
I am not listening.
And when I press on one of these items, I want to redirect to the search screen. So in the tabs index, where we render this flat list, I want to change this one to a pressable, where we render screens, and I will put it inside the link from Expo Router that will redirect to href slash where slash up slash slash. Why there is no search? I will just do slash search and then the ID of a search. And the ID of a search is going to be item.id. And I'll do it as child in order to the link to render this pressable. So now if I press here, okay, we have. If I'm gonna go to the first iPhone, I'll add there a button in this at the top of this screen. That would start a manual job. So let's go to the search ID, and on this button, let's add a button from React Native with a type Title. Start scraping, and on press I'm going to say start scraping, which is going to be a local function. Start scraping, which is going to be a local.
Start scraping on press. Just gonna call this start scraping.
Local function defined here, const start scraping. It's probably going to be an async function that is going to use the Supabase client. Await. Again, data error is always what Supabase gives us back. So await Supabase dot functions dot invoke, and here we provide the name of a function, which is called, how did we call it? Scrape start. So scrape dash start, and as a second parameter we give here the body, which is going to be a JSON stringify record, and the record is going to be our search item.
I'm just gonna put this as a record actually. So gonna go here. Where did I put? Yeah, just gonna fix that up.
This is not await but const, and let's do console log data and error. And let's try to invoke it from our application, now being authenticated as a user. So if I press start scraping and look in the logs of our React Native, boom, we see the update logs of our React Native user. So if I press start scraping and look in the logs of our React Native, native, boom, we see the updated one with the status scraping, and it should also have a snapshot ID. Where is it? Snapshot ID, boom, here. So now it was just our authorization rules that was preventing us from doing unauthorized scraping. That's actually the benefit of doing everything here through Supabase, because now only
I'm gonna sleep now. I'm too tired.
if you're logged in, you can start a scraping job. And because we have that ID,
I don't know what he did for those few minutes. Oh yeah.
iPhone. So make sure you properly type it like this. Query, is it correct? Yeah, I think it's going to work. And let's try to execute this. curl request to send a new request to our edge function. Let's see what's gonna happen now. We see null. Most probably there was an error. So let's go ahead and do a console log error here from the Supabase client and send the request again and go back to the logs. We see error is null. Most probably, like if I look at the logs, I'm gonna see that do we have new API calls? I don't think we do have.
I am tired.
So what's happening there? Serving a request with hello from functions. Let me do a console log where. In the new scrape, do a console log new scrape. I know why it might be a problem. Because we are working with local database, but I expected...
What did it change?
In the new scrape, do a console log new scrape. I know why it might be a problem. Because we are working with local database, but I expect it to update the remote one. So snapshot ID is there, but when it tries to update, there is no item in our local database. So what I'm gonna do is now I'm gonna try to deploy this function so that it will work on remote on supabase.com. To deploy a function, all we have to do is functions where we're gonna do our code because we're again going to trigger it manually through a curl request. I'm gonna add here a bit of space. I'm gonna duplicate this curl request and I'm gonna change only the endpoint URL because everything else, well, actually not everything else. Let me update the invocation URL, this one, to my remote one, and the authorization.
We need to get the... Okay.
As well, because the authorization needs the anonymous key from project settings API anon key. I'm gonna copy this one and update it in the second request for the remote. LIVE008, I don't know how to pronounce it correctly, and just replace the token. And this one is a remote request. Now let's try to copy it and send the request to our remote function. What's going to happen? It's going to invoke a remote function. It's going to give us null, which means that something. So now, how do we get the data? With that job and Amazon for this keyword. Specifically, Amazon start scraping function. So let's recap. Whenever we are calling this start scraping function, we are sending there a search item with a query that the user wrote, with ID, status, and so on. Then we are invoking the Bright Data datasets API, and we are sending this request. Hey, go ahead and scrape Amazon for this keyword. Specifically, Amazon.com. We get back an ID for that job, and we update the database to set the ID there and to update the status. Now having that ID, now that means that we are almost kind of ready with the first edge.
Okay, let's see now. Okay, so Oh, snapshot ID. Interesting.
edge function.
It's supposed to. It's supposed to update it. And now what search is it? So search 45, for example. I'm tired, man. Okay, guys, I'm gonna end the stream now. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll figure this out tomorrow. Basically, I stop right here. Okay, let me keep on going for 1-2 more minutes.
Let's make it green, even though we're gonna have to come back here for a second. So now, how do we get the data? The data, we can get it through a couple of ways. We can send a request to this bright data dataset snapshots using the ID of that snapshot, and we're gonna get the response. Basically, we look into the database for iPhone. Come on, come on, come on. We take the snapshot.
I don't have that, you see. I don't have that because I can't make that request yet because I don't have the. I guess it should work.
ID.
Okay.
And we send a
I just
new
don't
request
let that
with this
go.
snapshot ID to this URL, and you're gonna see that if I send it now,
Quite close.
we should have data about iPhone.
Hey,
like
what's
it should
up?
be exactly about
Damn,
iPhone.
you caught me at my
So let's
worst
see.
time.
Uh,
I've been yawning. I am so tired. Nerdy Yodi. I'm so sorry, bro. It's 5 a.m. for me. Should be
I'm
going to sleep. What's up, bro?
gonna search for iPhone here, and yes, we see iPhone SE, and so on. So this is data for a scrape job that we
Okay.
perform here.
Okay.
So what we could do is we could do the same thing that we have done for the start scraping. We can invoke the web scraper API and say, hey, do you have a, data for this snapshot or not? But the thing is that we don't know how long it takes Bright Data to scrape that job. Sometimes
You know what? I'm actually going to start tomorrow. That's because I want to actually change 1-2 features that actually make mine different to what he has. I don't want to have to click start scraping. I just want the user to search and it starts scraping and a small loading screen pops up, etc. Blah blah blah. Okay, so we're making progress. Thanks everyone for watching. Thank you. We will start tomorrow. Hopefully, I will stream tomorrow. I don't know. I'm just gonna put it in the stream diary. So, stream diary. 008 21/11/24. One and a half hour stream. 3 hours 16 minutes. 3 hours 16 in tutorial. Okay, so got 3 hours 16 minutes in the tutorial. Okay, thanks everyone for watching. Goodbye. I hope everyone has a lovely Thursday. It is 5 a.m. for me. I am going to sleep, so anyone from these countries, yeah, you got time. You're waking up and stuff. Okay, thanks everyone for watching. Take care. If my fiance is watching this, I love you. And if anyone else is watching this, be sure to subscribe, follow my Twitter, and thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.